In this episode, we look at the concept oceans. Hi, boys and girls. At the end of this lesson, you'll be able to define the concept ocean, name and identify the 5 oceans, give absolute and relative locations of oceans, and complete at least 4 of the 8 activities at the learning centers. The Summer Olympics will be held in France, which is located in Europe. Athletes from all over the world, including Jamaica, are preparing and making plans for this event. This includes the route that each team will travel to get to France. Except for teams from Asia, Europe, and Africa, the journey for teams from other continents and islands will include crossing over large bodies of water. These large bodies of water are called oceans. There are 5 oceans: the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Antarctic, and Arctic. These oceans surround or partially surround the continents. Engage. Use the world map in your atlas to locate Jamaica and France. Trace the route that the Jamaican athletes will likely travel to the Olympic Village in France. Now locate Australia. Trace the route that the Australian athletes will likely travel to the Olympic Village in France. Name the large bodies of water that both teams will most likely cross. All right, so let's take a look. So here we have the Caribbean and we have Jamaica. Zoom back out a little. So Jamaica in this general area, and here we have France. Generally speaking, the flight would go to the United States first, and then say from New York going across to France. Okay. So the ocean that we see here that sits between where we are and Europe would be the Atlantic Ocean. Now they say North Atlantic because if we zoom out, we see that there's a section here, South Atlantic, North Atlantic. All of this is the Atlantic, but it is, divided or so named. This section is so named because it's above the equator as compared with the section that is below the equator. So all of this would be the Atlantic Ocean. Now for the next one, we have Australia, and over here we have France. So we have the Indian Ocean that they'd have to cross. Okay, so they'd have to cross the Indian Ocean to get here. Explore. Access the internet, download and view videos on the size of each ocean. Explain. Although there is more than one relative and absolute location for each ocean, complete table 1 by writing beside each number and letter one absolute location and one relative location of an ocean in relation to a continent. An example is done for the Indian Ocean. So here we have the Pacific. We want the absolute and relative location to a continent. Atlantic, same thing. The Indian Ocean is 23.5 degrees south and 60 degrees east and is east of Africa. The same needs to be done for the Antarctic and the Arctic. So let's go back to our map. And here we have Africa. Here we have the Indian Ocean, and it is to the east of Africa. Remember, this would be west, and over here is east. Remember, it always says we. Okay, this is north and south. That's our compass rose, right? So if this is Africa, then the Indian Ocean is to the east of Africa. But the same Indian Ocean would be to the west of Australia. Extend. Use a map to identify and name the continents that border parts of each ocean. Evaluate. Complete at least 4 of the 8 activities at the learning centers. Word link from the Faye Ellington Center. Create a brochure on oceans and include the Caribbean islands that are completely surrounded by an ocean. Hint, hint, Barbados, check Barbados. 2, the relative and absolute location of each ocean. Name the shallowest ocean and name the deepest ocean. Self-link from the Dr. Agri Irons Center. Make a journal entry expressing your view on the ocean that impresses you most. Music link from the Jimmy Cliff Center. Write song lyrics for the concept ocean. Picture link from the Edna Manley Center. Download images on oceans and use them to make a carousel. Body link from the Rex Nettleford Center. Make a model of an ocean using resources available. Number link from the Albert Einstein Center. Complete table 2 with a latitude, longitude, and grid address for each ocean. An example is given for the Atlantic Ocean. So here we have the Atlantic, which is 40 degrees north, 60 degrees west, and the grid address is 40 degrees north and 60 degrees west. Do that for the rest. From the Mary Seacole Center, we have the social link. Use a digital device and take photos of the model of the ocean made and then upload them to your class WhatsApp group. Finally, Nature Link from the Dan Macaulay Center. Go on a virtual field trip to an ocean. Just before we go, the oceans. So here we have the Atlantic here. We have the Indian, that would be 2. We have the Pacific both on the left and right side of our map. That's because this is a globe. Okay. Then we have the Arctic Ocean here. And all the way down here, we should be seeing the Southern Ocean. Okay. So that would be the 5 that we're looking for. So again, Atlantic here, Southern, Pacific, Indian, and Arctic. So in this episode, we were looking at oceans. We should now be able to define the concept ocean, name and identify the 5 oceans, give absolute and relative locations of oceans, and we should have completed at least 4 of the activities from our learning centers. Take care. We'll see you in our next episode.